our academics and our disciplinary long term.
There's already a cost there, some where we have to contract some of these principals to come in and to do extra work already, correct?
Correct. There's some of
So
them
so it won't actually be the full 65,000, it'll be
correct.
offset a little bit from
The,
that.
the 65,000 is what Ms. O'Bannon calculated. That's what it would be to make the conversion. But you are correct. Some of them fill in the roles of like summer school, and so they're already being contracted for those extra days. So they really wouldn't be part of that 65,000. It would be, and some of them have to come in to do various things during, like trainings or so there's days that they're contracted. So this would cover some of that as well. So. But yes, 65,000 on the high side.
Okay. Did that new law change for the members in central office and employees here? Did it change their days as well? Is that gonna be?
It basically is if you were grandfathered in, you stayed under the old law. If you were a new hire, but it's not all the central office positions, it's only select ones, yes. And I can get you guys that law so that you guys can see what exactly
Which one,
they
which
were.
position?
Which positions it is.
Okay.
But yes, they did add the assistant principals to the principal, which was really, we used to have supervisory tenure in this law, in the state, and then they did away with that when they did the Teachers First Act, the Teachers Tenure Act, and now they've gone back and added this to the principal's contract, so they've kind of gone back and fixed the supervisory tenure. Anything else on that, gentlemen?
Which end they do?
All right. Ms. O'Bannon, Ms. Mitchell, school wellness policy?
Now? Okay. I'll try to keep this brief. I sent you the school wellness policy, and I also provided you a hard copy in front of you. Its purpose is to outline the district's approach to providing opportunities for all students to practice healthy eating and physical activity, not only during the school day, but the goal is to promote lifelong healthy habits. So we have slightly tweaked and updated the policy to correct some of the wording. Instead of will or must, in most cases, it was changed to should. And also to get together a new committee. We'll look at that section in just a minute. And I have with me Ms. Danielle Mitchell. She is our, raise your hand, she is our district-wide CNP manager. And she is the school system's designated representative for the wellness policy, over coordinating and implementing it. And as the district-wide CNP manager, she's already required to conduct local school annual reviews for compliance with USDA regulations under the National School Lunch and Breakfast Programs. So that review goes hand in hand with the triennial progress report, which is the assessment tool for this wellness policy. Triennial because the assessment is required once every 3 years. So, Ms. Mitchell and I started reviewing the policy closer just to make sure we had all of our ducks in a row for the upcoming state CNP administrative review this spring. We haven't updated it since she was hired as the district supervisor in 2022 when we had a retirement. So we have some work to do with a new committee that we're currently putting together. If you look at that section 7.9.5, the committee will include obviously Ms. Mitchell, PE teachers, health teachers, school nurses, and school administrators. We tweaked the committee members to cover all grade levels, and also we wanted to first establish, because what we had when it was first adopted in 2019, I think, we had 3 members. We had the CNP district-wide manager, we had, you may remember Dr. Ballard with student services, and then we had our lead nurse. So we want to expand it and actually do what we're supposed to be doing with the new committee. So, it was first to establish a workable committee internally that would be more effective, and then we will report to the parents and the public on an annual basis, receiving their input or concerns on implementation or any changes to the policy. We wanted to make sure when establishing the new community that we will include some of those representatives as some of our parents of our students. So they'll serve a dual role. So that section was tweaked. Another, the committee will meet at least once a year to establish goals and to review progress. Actually, it's been a typo in our policy where it says twice a year, because for the compliance standards required by the states, it's once a year. Now, does that mean we can't meet more than once a year? Absolutely not. We can, but that's one of the areas where we changed. And that's pretty much it, but I'll go ahead and summarize. Annually, we will be following up and notifying the superintendent, the board, and the public of the results of the wellness assessment and areas where we are making progress or showing progress. So, just to describe a little bit of what the assessment covers, because it's a packet this thick from the State Department of Education, from the CMP department. The assessment covers nutritional standards for meals and snacks. And the main thing is it focuses on how we are encouraging students to participate in the school meal programs, as that's very important, and marketing and that sort of thing. Another area of focus is, as I mentioned, physical activity opportunities that are offered during and after school. And the assessment will be by school for every school, because everyone is a little unique with the grade configurations and what activities are offered. So, with those changes being made, the wording, adding should, and the committee representatives, and then changing it from meeting at least once a year from twice. That's the changes we made. So we'd like to bring it back on the 20th for board approval. And Mr. Kubik has already sent it to the Policy Review Committee. And we had one question, and I answered her question. Hopefully that was acceptable, but we'll see what else they might have or what input they might want to consider. Any questions?
So as Ms. O'Bannon said, it's already gone to the, Mr. Bellows, Ms. Neely, and Ms. McLaughlin with AEA for their review on the Policy Review Committee part. They do get 30 days, so
Yes,
we'll
sir.
reach out to them and see
Oh,
if they
so
have any
it
major
can't
change.
come back on the
Well,
20th?
we can check with them and see if they have anything that, would preclude them from the 20th. But we
Okay.
may have to bring it back to the work session in the March meeting to make sure that they have ample time. But we can check with those, the two presidents of each association and Ms. McLaughlin. just
In the
to be updated.
meantime, I've already had instruction and others that Mr. Perkins' department are helping us to form the committee, the new committee.
Yes, Ms. Neely's already reached out and has already reviewed it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Ms. O'Bannon. All right, you ready, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. The academic guide scheduling. So last board meeting, y'all approved the academic guide for next year. We put a hold on the academic guide to come back with more data information, as well as we have some presentations from a couple of teachers tonight that'll be coming later, along with some requests to address the board from both parents and from students, and those will be coming later in the meeting. So just to give you some background on the academic guide scheduling and why we're here and what the change is for, to make sure that we're all up to speed. There's been multiple parents that have come and complained about the AP issues, and when I say AP, it's advanced placement, not the assistant principal one. We'll get that straight. So the advanced placement courses. And it's ranged from that my students are being placed in courses that they didn't sign up for. They have complained about that they get their test results back from the AP class from the previous year during the summer, yet they're required to sign up for classes in the spring, early spring, and there's a limited opportunity to change, or they're not being allowed to change, and they don't get the results back till summer, so there's not enough time to make a decision. On year-long classes, students need to take AP classes that are paired up. And we're gonna clarify what a year-long class is. We're not talking about a year-long class where a student goes every single day, Monday through Friday, for an entire year. We're talking about an alternate schedule where they go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and the next week, Tuesday, Thursday, and it's an alternating schedule, and it's called an AB. It's stretched out through the year, but it's still only a semester course. It is not a year-long course. The course has not been stretched out for an entire year. It's still one semester. It's just been extended over a period of time. So some of the parental complaints were that since they are put in these courses, if a course doesn't make, they're moved to another paired course, and it's a course that they may or may not want, but they're put in that course because it has to be paired, because it has to be in an AB schedule, not a semester schedule. One of the parents talked about that students are not always able to get their specialized electives, such as upper-level foreign languages, advanced photo, advanced theater, medical academy, etc., because the AP pairings cannot be moved. There was another one that talked about this was actually a point from one of the counselors that had sent it in about what they've had to deal with, that are approximately 25% of the students who request an AP class each year cannot be scheduled as requested due to pairing conflicts. As a result, they either choose to drop AP entirely due to the pairing conflict, or they will go ahead and go into a dual enrollment class, or they will change their courses to a regular class. And AP classes, because the AP class didn't make that they wanted. AP classes can only be offered certain blocks because of the band schedule. So all pairing options are also limited because of that. Requests reflect more interest than actually students who actually stay in the courses. So after conflicts present themselves, the numbers in the AP classes dwindle further. So those are some of the parental complaints. Now, when you look at the AP courses and you compare what our AB year-long, we'll call it year-long schedules are, compared to the semester ones, we have, out of our 6 high schools, Buckhorn High, Sparkman High, and Hazel Green High all do the AB schedule that's stretched over the year. Madison County High, New Hope High, all do the semester. Their courses are, each semester. Virtual does, theirs is their own entity, and so they can go ahead and stretch it over a year, so they stretch theirs over a year.
Mr. Pugh, those 3 large high schools, they do all their AP, not some of their APs, on the AB schedule.
That's not quite true, sir. There's, and I actually have a email from one of the teachers who is an AP teacher and an elective teacher, and the teacher says that I teach both AP and career tech electives, and these are my observations. Number 1, electives and career tech suffer from AP courses being year-long in a hybrid schedule. Back in 14-15, we had traded the block schedule. We had the block schedule with AP as semester long, and many students were able to take both AP and their chosen electives with no issues. As it is now, students that have had a hard time getting both. I see kids graduating who are college ready, but not really career ready. Trade the 4x4 block schedule makes it easier for students to be both. So, number 2, my AP class is 1 semester and has been for 12 years, with a passing rate of 99% for class sizes of about 7 to 14 kids. It can be done successfully. So this is a current AP teacher who also teaches career tech electives. the interesting about this is that when you look at the schedule, so what part of the problem with this, and part of the reason we're looking at changing this, is because this affects the entire schedule for the entire school. And when you look at it, what the percentage of numbers are for students who are actually in AP. For instance, Buckhorn High School we're using last year's ADM numbers because the testing data I'm going to share with you is for last year's, because we haven't taken it yet for this year. Buckhorn's ADM was 1279. There was 385 students who took AP classes. There was 894 who did not. 30% of Buckhorn's student body took an AP class. Hazel Green High School, 1,339 ADM. They had 417 AP students. 922 did not take an AP class. That's 31%. Madison County High School, 482 student body. 173 took an AP class. 309 did not. 36% of their school took them. Madison County Virtual, they had 602 students. They had 6 AP students, 596 not. New Hope High School, 584 students, 105 took AP, 479 did not, 18%. Sparkman High School, 1,720 students, and this 475 took AP classes. 1,245 kids did not at Sparkman High School. That's 28%. Sparkman 9, 644 students, 70 took AP, 574 did not. 11%. The average for Madison County is 24.5% of the student body in our high schools take an AP course. Yet, we're driving the schedule for all 6,650 students for the AP schedule. So I share that information because I want you to know what the percentages are and why parents are coming and complaining. Now, the flip side of this is also how we did on testing, because remember, we're talking about whether you take a semester course and then take AP exam in it's usually April, maybe early May, it's in that time period. Or if you take the AB schedule where you're taking courses all the way up to, and you still take the exam in April or early May. So you're not getting the April and May academic piece. This is what's really interesting. What I did is I ran the numbers for every course for Calhoun Community College, the University of Alabama, and the University of Auburn. And I ran our students' scores. Now, a qualifying score can be anywhere from a 3 to a 4, and it depends on the course, and it depends on the university that it's going to or the college. For instance, if you look at biology, AP biology, it doesn't matter whether you're at Calhoun, Auburn, or Alabama, a 3 score gets you a qualifying mark. But if you look at something like chemistry at Alabama and Auburn, it requires a 4. Same thing at Calhoun. If you go down to some of the programs like computer science principles, they're a 4 at Auburn, but it's a 3 at Alabama and Calhoun. So I did it by each individual school by grade to make sure that we were being equal and fair, and we weren't doing just generalities. So we'll start with Alabama. Now, I want you to remember, Hazel Green, Buckhorn, and Sparkman are all on the AB extended. Madison County and New Hope are on the semester. So, for the University of Alabama for last year, Buckhorn High School had 51.7% meet a qualifying score. And now again, qualifying score would be a 3 in the appropriate class or a 4 in the appropriate class based on that course for that thing. Hazel Green High School had a 45.7% qualifying score. Madison County High School had a 50.8%. Virtual had a 44.4. New Hope High School had a 15.3. Sparkman High School had a 46.8. And Sparkman 9 had a 31.9. So our top producing school, if you want to call it producing, based on did the best on qualifying scores was Buckhorn High School. And Buckhorn High School's on an AB schedule. Our second highest by percentage was Madison County High School, and it's on a semester. So there is that, and I'm pointing this out for a reason. So let's go ahead and follow what Auburn says. Okay, so at Auburn, Buckhorn High School had a passage rate or qualifying score of 39.4. And I'm just going to tell you right now, Auburn standards are a lot higher than the University of Alabama and Calhoun. They have a lot more 4s required than they do 3s, okay? Hazel Green High School passage rate for Auburn, 27%, or qualifying. Madison County High School, 34.1%. Madison County Virtual was 33. New Hope High School was a 10.7. Sparkman High School was a 29.7, and Sparkman 9 was a 30.4. Again, the number one school for production would be Buckhorn High School, followed by the second highest is Madison County High School again. Okay, AB and semester. It's not all AB and it's not all semester. If you go to Calhoun, Calhoun's numbers for Buckhorn High School, they have a 60.5% qualifying score rate. Hazel Green High School, 51.5. Madison County High, 53.4%. Virtual, 43.9. New Hope, 24%. Sparkman High School, 52.4. And Sparkman 9, 52.9. So Buckhorn again, number one at 60.5. Number two, again, Madison County High at 53. Now, some of this has to do with, quality of teachers too. So you can't look at just one particular variable. The other interesting thing about this is that Sparkman High is on a AB hybrid schedule. Sparkman 9 is not. Sparkman 9 is on a semester. The number 3 highest scoring group out of all of these is Sparkman 9. They had the third highest rating for Calhoun. They had the third highest rating for, I apologize, Sparkman High School had the third highest rating for Alabama, and Virtual had it for Auburn, okay? So again, there's no definitive to say that AB is the right way and semester is the right way. The other thing that's interesting about this is school systems that we like to compare ourselves to would be both Bob Jones and James Clemens. Contacted Dr. Nichols to find out what they do. They are on the semester system. They do not do a year-long AB. So the reason for this, there's multiple points. We have parents that are coming and complaining about the issues that arise with their students being able to get in, get out, pick one class versus two, because the pairing forces you to have to take 2 APs no matter what. Another piece of data that I want you all to understand about is the exam study sessions, which we offer. Now, these are what we offered this past year. There was a total of 18 AP language study sessions for all Madison County school students, and it was done virtually. It was open to all. There was 9 for AP literature. There was 3 for AP government. Now, AP US history, Buckhorn High School had 3 sessions. Hazel Green had 1. Sparkman had 1. For AP biology, Hazel Green High School had 2 sessions. Sparkman High School had 1. For AP chemistry, Buckhorn High School had 1. For AP world history, Hazel Green had 1. For AP psychology, Sparkman had 1. For environmental science, Sparkman had 1. For pre-cal, Sparkman had 1. And for AP physics, Sparkman had 1. Yes?
For the virtual, is that being done as a Teams meeting, or is that a presentation that's provided by the A-plus college ready?
A lot of these are contracted with the AP teachers that have the sessions. Yeah. So the next point that I want to make is that,
Can I ask a
yeah,
question?
sure, sir.
Can you give an example of what you're saying, like you have to take 2 AP classes? What AP class would you have to take, and then what would be the second class you would have to take?
It would depend on the school.
Okay.
But for instance, there was, one of the parents that came and complained with a student, they had taken, it was AP Chem that they wanted, and they wanted another class, and they agreed to take the second AP class. Well, the second AP class, and I can't remember what it was, did not make. So they put the student into an AP Computer Science class, and the student didn't want an AP Computer Science class, and it got to the point where they actually had a physician came because of the anxiety that was being caused by that. The parents came here. They went to the school first and tried to get relief at the school. And the school, and when I say the school, I'm talking about the administration of the school, not teachers, not staff, okay? Said that the child could not get out of it because they agreed to a paired class. And the parent came up here and was upset because they didn't agree to that paired class. They agreed to what they signed up for. And because it didn't make, the school put the child in that other AP class. And so
So they had to take.
they had to
another-
take the paired class. And so, and I'm glad you asked that question because these are actual counselor statements dealing with parents, okay? This is the counselor having to either talk to or email a parent. I'm sorry, but there's a conflict with the AP course that you requested in your 4th block softball class. I cannot pair. AP Pre-Cal and AP Environmental Science. I've replaced AP Pre-Cal with finite math, and I've paired AP Environmental Science with AP English. Below is a chart of all of our AP classes and when they are offered. If there is a different combination of classes you'd like, I'm happy to plug them in. Second one, I'm sorry, but there's a conflict with AP Computer Science and AP Biology. They do not pair. I've placed you in AP Pre-Cal paired with AP Biology for the time being. Below is a chart, and they use that same piece about the chart. I ran into a conflict with your schedule for next year. APUSH and AP Psych, which is AP U.S. History, and AP Psychology only pair 4th block, which conflicts with your tennis block. I put you in regular history for now. Below you'll find the chart. I ran into a conflict with your schedule. You requested AP Biology and AP Stats. Those courses only pair 4th block, which is when Theater 3 is. If you want to keep Theater 3, you will need to take AP Environmental Science or AP Physics as your science credit and AP Calculus or AP Computer Science as your math credit. I ran into a conflict with your schedule next year. Unfortunately, I can only pair AP Stats and PE 1st block, and that is when the show choir is. I put you in regular math for now. I hope you're doing well. I ran into a conflict with your schedule for next year. AP Chem is only offered in the 2nd block, and it appears that is what block you have open. I've replaced AP Chem with AP Biology. Below is the chart. So as you can see, these here are the counselors dealing with it at the local school and not even coming up to this level. So you can see that there is a problem that parents have brought to our concern, hence why we're here and why we're talking about this. Yes, sir. Uh-huh.
Is this one school that's doing the pairing, or is it?
Everyone who has an AB has to do a pairing.
They have to do pairing?
Yes.
Complaints, are they all from one central school, they spread out district-wide?
The complaints are coming from all 3 of the schools.
So,
But there is a particular school where there's a majority. And I'll be candid, the administration of the other schools, some work better with parents than others, and I'll leave it at that.
so we pair at Buckhorn, and you have the same deal works at Buckhorn as it does Hazel Green, as it does at Spark.
Yes, except that Hazel Green also has taken year-long classes and extended them through their skinny block, and they've extended to full year-long classes. And now that isn't an AB schedule. It's taking the class, which is a semester, and stretching it out over the whole year, because the skinny block's a shorter block, which is
The regular block is either 75,
86. 86, is it 86 or 96?
You have.
The blocks, is it 86 or 96?
In my mind's eye, we started this before we had skinny blocks and everything else. My kids
The skinny block is like a 45-minute block throughout the whole year.
So you took 15 minutes, or is it 75 minutes for instruction right now, or is it?
Mr. Bird, I'd have to find out from instruction on what I don't know if there's a Hazel Green teacher here but we're not gonna we don't need to open up a conversation with that.
If somebody would address that, just give me some time when y'all do speak, I would like to know.
Right, and we'll get that information for you.
But you're saying, so with Hazel Green, is Hazel Green the only school where we're talking about having to pair two AP classes when in reality they don't have to pair theirs? They can have, a child in an honors class paired with the AP class, and they still make that on the AP schedule?
You can do that. You can do that as well, and that's another possibility. And that's one of the things with when you look at doing if you get rid of the AB and you go straight to semesters, you can pair two courses that blend together. Like you might be able to pair a debate class with AP Comp, and so you could stretch things out so that you can cover multiple. You can pair things up like that, and it'd still be a credit for first semester and a credit for second semester. Okay, but what you're talking about is the way you run AB is you put one AP classes on A day and one AP classes on B day. So you got to take two AP classes in order to extend for the entire year because they're running multiple days. Now the skinny block is something else, and it was basically designed for remediation and extension, but it's been turned into, and that's another part in that academic guide scheduling. The first part is about the semesters. The second part is about what are we going to allow during skinny block. And if we're going to allow skinny block, then you're talking about having year-long classes. When I'm saying year-long, an entire, just like you would have a 6 or 7 period day, where you would go every single day for the skinny block. And there's 18 credits that are being earned through that. And that's a whole different schedule than what the advanced placement was designed for. So that's what I'm saying. And you got one school doing one thing and you got other schools doing others. And so what we're trying to do is align, and that was one of the things that came out of this. We had parent complaints, as well as, if you all remember, and I think Mr. Vest was on the board at the time, when our accrediting body came in, and this was 2 accreditations ago, they said that we had too many schools doing their own thing, and we were a district of schools and not a school district. We've worked hard to get that in line, and this is just another piece where you've got schools doing multiple things. Huntsville City is a different whole. I talked with Dr. Sutton. They have, it's kind of like ours. So you've got AB at some high schools, and you got semesters in others. So, it's more aligned like where ours is. Huntsville and Grissom, I think he said, is on the AB, and I think the others are on semesters.
When I look at this data, as a former math teacher, one of the things that comes out to me is the number of students not taking calculus BC. And, I'll talk about my experiences as a father. My son had to take calculus AB in his junior year, and then he took BC in his senior year. And he was like one of 3 kids in the room. But I noticed, for example, Sparkman High School, our largest high school, has 0 students in calculus BC. I noticed one of our smaller high schools, Madison County High School, has 10. And I assume the reason for this, Mr. Cubic, and I just assume, is that during the semester, they do AB fall semester, BC second semester, but am I missing something? Is that right?
Yeah, very well so, because you got a semester course on an AB. You can't do AB and BC at the same time.
Well, you could, but you'd still have to do them wrong, because you have one course as AB and second course as BC. You could fill it up so the whole year's calculus, both of them. But I assume that when I look at these numbers, and I look at Madison County High School, they're doing something right. And know, and I do want to encourage us to reach out and open as many doors as we can for our students to go through and succeed.
So the cognitive is one issue. The other issue is if you do have, and these are just byproducts of the scheduling piece is because of parental complaints coming in and the students not being able to get what they need. Another piece is if you do have a student that transfers from Madison County High to Hazel Green High, that student will, or if it's at the semester, they have credits. They come in with 4 credits. If they had AP courses, if they go there, they can't get to them because they can't be put in them because their AB is dispersed over a whole year long. So they can't get into the AP credits, the classes there, so they may have been scheduled. So that's just a byproduct of this, and that's a very small percentage that affects. That's not the reason why we're doing this. It's just another reason why, it's just another one of the variables. Mr. Jones?
Yeah, I was about to ask you, what percentage of that do we usually see of that transfer from
It-
AP schedule to a semester?
It's minimal. It's very minimal because they're actually making a bona fide move from one of our districts to the other. It happens more when they're coming in, when we get transplants in or we send kids out. That's when you see it more. So it doesn't happen that often here unless they're making a bona fide move. Like, let's just say someone in the Sparkman zone may have bought a farm out down, towards Gunnersville and it's in the New Hope zone. Then it may be an issue for that particular child, but it's very, very small. And that's not the reason why this was done. This was done because of the parental complaints, and we realized we had a problem, so we needed to address it.
So, let me make sure I got this. Are we getting complaints from others? Is it a couple of schools? Is it one school? Is it, don't name the school, but is it one school or that kids are not getting the class they're paired with and they're putting them in another class? Is it the whole group?
No, we're
Of the 3 high schools.
Is it the 3?
it's the 3 that with the ABs. It's not the
So we're getting-
it's not the semester ones. And and one of the schools is, and I'm going to say, to be fair, one of the schools we hear minimal from. And that's also one of them that's the top performing one, but we don't hear it from New Hope and we don't hear it from Madison County either. The majority of it is coming from our 2 largest high schools, which is our 7A and our large 6A that will probably be 7A in another year or so.
I can't, no teacher background here, and newbie on the board right here, and just a question, excuse me if you don't have this answer. but
Sure.
These, when you look like at S9, you said they come and they had the highest overall average, I believe. If I misspeak, correct me as I go. Is some of these courses, taken, obviously in high school, it's easier for me to take a history course than it was at pre-cal. Does that have anything to do with this data of certain, like, if I'm looking at this right, 21 of them, world history, modern, is that a percentage of helping, their scores be higher because of the certain courses that they're taking? Whereas if it was 21 of them in the pre-cal, does that
No.
have anything much to do with the data?
No, this data here, what this represents is this tells you exactly how many students scored a 3, a 4. Like if the minimum qualifying was a 3, it's how many total number of students that scored a 3, a 4, or a 5, which means that college considers that a qualifying score. Okay, and so what you're seeing is, like, if you look at, for instance, we'll take Calhoun and we'll take United States history. There was 237. There was 237 students that scored a qualifying score. So the average was 52.6 for the district. Okay. In Buckhorn High, there was 56 of them scored a 3, 4, or 5. So that was 60%.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
I don't mean to cut you off.
Sure.
But I understand that, so do we have the data for Madison County semester long of, just say, from physics 1, 2, that data of those being on a semester class, which is a lot of concern of the jam-packed with materials, do we have that data where the number of kids that took these classes and didn't make a qualifying score, to see if that correlates with the amount that they had in a short amount of time of trying to do that? Is that data out there, or does that make sense?
I'm not sure I follow you, but I can tell you how many students, I can get you the data. AP puts this out.
Yeah.
So-
And I'm sorry if I'm confusing you, I'm just asking, from, if we're looking at AB versus semester, are we looking the data, or can you get it to us whether it's tonight, whenever, if they're taking physics one on a semester schedule in Madison County,
Mhm.
and if they're not getting a qualifying score, does that data correlate with what the concern is for several people of too much material in one semester?
So what you're saying, Mr. Jones, I want to make sure, let's say we have a group of 100 kids and 5 of them get a qualifying score. That's different than we have a group of 10 kids and 5 of them get a qualifying score.
I'm not following you on that. I'm just saying, if we're, just compare Buckhorn to Madison County, AB versus semester, if their percentage is high, which is good, of course, I don't know if anybody from Madison, I'm not knocking that a bit, I'm just trying to make sure I understand all the data, that what we're seeing on here is just the qualifying scores for each school. But if you go and look at, and again, it goes back to, just say if you take chemistry, out of those kids, there was one of them that had a qualifying score, I'm looking at, on here, make sure I'm looking at that right, one of them for chemistry. Do we know if there was 15 in that class that didn't make a high
So
qualifying score?
I'm following you now. You want to know like what the percentage would be by school for each individual class. Yeah, I'm following you now.
Do we have that, have we looked at that?
Oh, it can be created.
And the reason, does that make sense? Well, I'm just asking that because if we look at these percentages, Buckhorn is 51.5 on AB, Madison County is a semester, and we say, well, the semester, and again, I'm not neutral here, I wanna hear all sides to everything. But I just wanna know, out of these zeros in physics or one in chemistry, how many of them did that, so we can really say, hey, it's me to do my due diligence, or was that material that was presented in chemistry too much for one semester? That's the only reason, so if we can get that, I know it's a lot, but, I would like to look at it, or see something of it.
Yeah, I can get it for you. It's gonna, we'll have to get back into the, I've got all that, so it's just a matter of recreating. So you want to know, like, if there was, for instance, we'll just say, if Buckhorn High had 100 kids take AP Biology, and we know that 60% passed, and then you want to know, like, okay, so let's say Madison County had 50, and they had 50 passed, you want to know, well, that won't work either, because you still have the same percentage. So, let me see what I can get for you.
I think what he's asking is the number of kids in the class versus the numbers that make you the qualifying score.
Instead of a total percentage, an individual
Total
percentage.
That's why I said the 5
Yeah.
of 100 is not the
Okay.
same as
So
5.
so we're on the same page. So like, let's go back to Madison County High School, 1 in chemistry. That's where we are right now, right? You want to know how many kids were in that class that did not get the 3 or 4. So
Right.
if there's 8 kids or 15 kids or 40 kids, we've got a 1 that made it.
Right,
He wants to know the number that did not.
correct, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's not actually saying the kids didn't pass.
Right, just
They just did not get the qualifying score to get a credit in college. Correct?
Yeah, there's really not a pass-fail. You get either a
Right.
qualifying score or you don't. And we give credit for, like, the way our policy reads is they have to take the exam in order to get that bonus points. If they don't take the exam, then they're not entitled to bonus points.
So this is nothing to do with class sizes. This is pretty much just who got that credit.
Correct. Those are,
College
they,
credit.
college credit, or, well,
All the kids might have passed the class. They just did not
Correct.
make enough.
and, yeah, they may have passed the course, but they didn't take the exam and get a qualifying score on
Since
the
we're
exam.
doing all the numbers, just to add the numbers to it, sorry to add more numbers to you, but can we get what percentage passes and fails the actual class in APs? Is that something,
Gary, can
just
you-
for data, just to look at?
That's a very small number, Brian.
Okay.
That's an insignificant number.
Talking about they pass.
You don't
they
have,
fail?
you think we can,
Whoever made a D or
we
a
can pull
D.
that?
Okay.
Okay. We'll see if we can pull
Okay.
that, because and, you're talking about, getting a 60 on the course and getting and technically that passes.
Okay.
as opposed to just passing the.
Okay, I was
This
just
will have to
asking.
get in, but yes, I understand what you want, Mr. Jones, and yes, we can get that broken down by course and, and as far as like, there was 25 took it and only 4 were qualifying, but 4 in here is the totality of what Madison County High or Buckhorn High had for their overall passage rate. Yeah, we can do that by,
And I'm gonna submit that, okay, I'm gonna speak as David when he was in school. If you put me in a class I didn't really wanna be in, if you forced me in a class, I'm not gonna get what I want or do. I mean, not to say that students do that, but I mean, I don't wanna be put in a class that I didn't sign up for just to make the schedule work out. I'm 49 years old and I still rebel a little bit, so, that's something to look at.
the only other thing I have for y'all in reference to this topic is that, Ms. Bass did send out a survey, and you guys received you received all that information. One thing I would suggest that you do is takes a little time and read the comments. And the survey, it was really interesting. There's not a definitive one way or the other when you look at the survey data. There's fors and there's against, there's pros and there's cons. So that, but it's just more information for y'all to look at, so.
Kind of just one more, like this
Yeah.
data, do we have this from the past 3 years, or is this?
I didn't, I only worked on this past year.
This is great information, Mr. Cubic, and I urge your staff to do this annually. Because as you recall, my 2 new board members weren't here, I sent an email in this last summer requesting this type of information on an annual basis, so that it allows myself as a board member and hopefully my colleagues and your staff to evaluate our programs and determine what shortcomings we can do to address the next year. This is good work.
That's all I have, sir. It's on to you.
That was a mouthful.
Yeah, I understand.
On to the next, then the CFO position. Board member discussion. No, you're good. You can pass that out, and if you'll go over here, you can talk to us. Is that okay? Yeah.
Evening, gentlemen of the board, Superintendent Cubic and attorney. My name is Julius Shanks. I'm one of the attorneys with Boardman and Carr down in the metropolis of Chelsea, Alabama. And what propose before you regarding an opportunity to facilitate. No, not on? I'm a loudmouth anyway. So that's what I get paid for. But propose CSFO, CSFO application or vacancy announcement. And that's what we have before you. Pretty much well, you didn't ask me this, but I'll just share. Because of the fact that I understand that this is your first invitation to the dance. You haven't had to do this in at least 30 years.
20.
You said, yeah. So, yeah. So what we have is that this is actually the only position in the district where this individual is hired through, according to state statute, in consultation with the local superintendent, and the board appoints the individual, and they're actually they're not recommended by the superintendent. So the board votes on hiring the CSFO, but again, it's consultation between the superintendent and the board. This individual answers to the superintendent, but the fiduciary responsibilities that he or she has is to the board. We did a little tweaking to the job description and responsibilities and qualifications. So after you peruse it, and maybe if you decide to take some days with it, or you decide, however you decide, but there will have to be a consensus on it, because there is a little change from what you previously advertised for you never advertised for a CSFO, but what you had described for the job description of a CSFO.
I would like to ask, 1 and 2, or 2 and 3, is that preferred, or is that?
Required.
Are you saying that 1, 2, and 3 is preferred in
Well,
the job description?
Well, it's up to you. It's up to you. I'm not sure if I have if we've put preferred down on there.
You have preferred,
You actually have it as a qualification, not preferred.
right, preferred's out here by the side of,
3.
of some of these,
Uh-huh.
of 5 and 6, but,
Uh-huh.
But 2 and 3, you don't have preferred. Are we gonna put preferred? I would like to see preferred on there.
And guess what?
And what it states is that MBA or graduate degree, required. That's the way I read that.
Yes, sir. So we can tweak that and just put preferred.
Certified public accountant, I'd like to see it say preferred.
Okay.
That's my 2 cents worth, what I,
Sure.
glad they have to have a driver's license.
CPA preferred and graduate degree preferred.
I mean.
Yeah, because as the way it read, looked like that would have to be a qualification, would be required.
Yes.
And we would like to, as a board,
Well, I'd like to see that.
see it as preferred.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll make that change.
Okay.
Hey, why don't, let's just take a minute, let him run down through them real quick.
Okay.
Like, if you don't mind, y'all mind?
Don't mind at all.
Do I have an extra?
You sure can,
Here you go. We got you one. We got you one of your papers.
Okay, so I'll do this quickly because.
just run down the qualifications.
Okay, all right. So definitely at a minimum a bachelor's degree, right? 4-year accredited with the concentration in business-related curriculum, right? You don't want the poli-sci major like me. So, okay, number 2, MBA, graduate degree. So next to that, I'll have in parentheses preferred. CPA, same thing. We'll put preferred. 3 years experience in a business-related field. Okay, that's fine. Extensive experience with financial system implementation. Preferred. Current certification as a CSFO. We can put preferred, or we put the or is if they complete the Alabama State Department of Education required certification for CSFOs. So if they bring it, that's fine. But if they don't bring that with them, then we'll require.
He
Yes.
you have something there?
The Alabama Association of School Business Officials, which is
AA.
one of the right, ASBO, they have a certification. Is that what you're referring
Yes,
to there?
yes.
Because I don't think it's called a CSFO. I think it's called a
Finance.
SFO.
Oh, okay.
It is, okay. All right.
Okay. And then annual requirements for CEUs, right, to maintain that CSFO certification. Must be bondable. We're dealing with an individual now who she gave herself a pay raise, but no one else authorized it. So I had to talk to the bonding company to get back about $15,000. So we were able to get that check.
Not in this county.
Oh no! This was south, very very south.
Just making that note.
Well, we already talked about the driver's license. 3 years experience with directing human resource. So in other words, having some people. I mean, it's a preference to have some people that they've supervised in the past. Demonstrated organizational communication, interpersonal skills required to achieve the goals of the institution. Ability to supervise. So again, 3 or more years of supervisory experience in an educational accountant setting, that's preferred. And completion of the AASBO program. But I guess that would be the same thing that I was talking about at the CSFO, right? So we could scratch this one out because it's a little redundant. And meet such alternatives to the above qualifications as the board may find appropriate and acceptable. So, you know, that, what is that, what did we put that in the teacher's contract and all other?
Duties as
There you go. Yes.
They're very familiar with
Mhm.
We all are.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Yeah. And then, you know, the next section is just knowledge, you know, knowledge and skills that we would want the individual to bring to the table. You know, knowing about accounting laws, that Macular Next Gen, you know, that's the language to talk to the state, you know, computer system, physical and emotional ability, oh yeah, dexterity to perform required work. Then, you know, then job duties. I won't go over all of them, but I'll highlight some of the big ones.
One of the qualifications.
Okay, we're good. All right, all right. Okay, well, how about page 3 at the bottom? The terms of employment, contract period. Okay, everything's fine. All right, that'll work. Yeah.
I would, where it says salary negotiable, could we add, or would it be bad to add on there desired salary to see what kind of starting point someone comes in with?
Starting salary,
Yeah,
negotiable.
because if we have salary negotiable, at least put that on there just so they can put it.
Would you put that on the application though, instead of in
Yeah.
job description?
Well, you want to put, so you want them to say where they would like to start, or?
I would like to see a desired salary.
Yeah, what you're saying is you would like the applicant to state what their desired starting salary is? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can put that where you think,
I think you'd put it in the application.
yes,
rather than
that's
the-
what I was thinking too. I was looking to see where, but we can make a place for it over there by, maybe right over there, on the well, we have it as page 5, but the second page of the application, maybe over there where, when they talk about the system budget, the current systems budget, maybe we can put over there, desired salary for position? Is that what you,
Yes, sir.
okay, fine, I can do that. Desired,
Are y'all good with that? Mr. Jones, Mr. Joneses, Mr. Byrd?
okay, all right. Oh, well, I know you know this, but I just have to point this out. The reason that it's beneficial that you're allowing us to do it and the applications go directly to our office is then they're not public record. Then and so that we're hoping that will allow a greater number of applicants because their boss, you know, they're not committing career suicide by, you know, looking and their boss don't know or whatever. So the boss does not have to know because the applications are ours. Then of course you would view them, but the actual retaining of them would be the law firm.
I was thinking personally, if we redacted the names for us, if y'all redacted the names, when you share them with us,
Okay.
that way we just looked at it merit,
Okay.
the merit of the job application to the person.
So that means sounds like we're doing the interviewing too.
No, you're just the names and address.
Uh-huh. Okay, got it.
I mean, I don't,
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, it's not a big deal, it could be a big deal.
And what we normally do, and you tell me if this isn't something, but what we normally do is, so we'll get the applicants, and then we assemble them, you know, in a book for you. And if you want us to redact the names, we could redact the names, and you just see qualifications, you know, under each individual. Then after that, we vet them, and then we unofficially rank them, and then we conduct interviews, and then from the interviews, we bring you top 3, top 4, and then, you know, go from there. If you want to then narrow down and interview those top 3, that's something that, you know, you could, yeah, depends, right? Could be top 2.
Yeah, public.
The interviews will be public.
Yes, that's correct,
They're just gonna help narrow it down a little bit for us.
right.
So,
I think
just to clarify, Mr. Best, you're wanting the names removed for the first phase of the process?
Yeah, the first phase, yeah.
But they're gonna choose our 5 candidates.
Right.
And then, once they get to the 5 candidates, then we will be given the names.
So we'll never see them at the redacted,
Was
right?
it?
Am I right on that?
Yes.
If you're getting the first round of them in the redacted, we'll never see them until you give us the final list.
Oh, okay, okay.
Correct.
Well, okay,
That's
Yeah.
that's the process.
Or
we're-
there is a way where you can see the names, because they're confidential to the law firm.
right, right,
Right.
Yeah.
okay.
You're welcome to.
I'm fine with it.
So we make that decision of how many we're gonna interview based off of how many applicants and.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just throwing a number out there just for,
It needs to
But-
be 3 or 5, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
But we're gonna do 5 in the second round for the top 2.
It depends on how, you can't really decide that at this point
Oh, that's what I'm
until
saying, we
you,
don't have to decide that right now.
yeah, until you know what your applicant pool looks like.
Right.
I just didn't know if that's a decision
I hope
to
it's
make
you.
now.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the question we need to consider is when do we want the applications turned in by? I know we had a kind of a rough timeline, some of you may be considering,
Normally, if it's, I mean, unless, depends on, you know, of the situation. I know time is of the essence, definitely, but for the norm, it's normally a 30-day out, you know, a 30-day out there. I've seen 20, but somewhere between there is
I
a
would like
posting.
to have this selection process completed by the end of April, middle of
Okay.
April. I don't know about you, but
Okay.
someplace in that timeline.
So that's fine.
I think that's too late.
Well, I don't have a problem with
I
that.
think that we need to get an expedited schedule on this. I think it needs to get posted as quickly as possible. We've
Okay.
already lost a lot of time. And the key is, our current CSFO is going out June 1.
Right.
And we have, staffing is coming up, and then we've got the budget coming up.
Yeah.
And we've got to get this
But the
person
budget-
on board so that they can, I would like to have them on staff by April.
Well, I mean, that's the $20 question is, the budget, we can't do anything to, money comes out of the legislature. I don't have a problem with 15 April, I don't have a problem with 1st of April for the applications, but I don't wanna rush this and not get an applicant pool.
You tell me, April or March? We're in February still.
Right,
That's 2 months away.
right.
If it's a 20-day, if we got it posted, let's say we got it
Next week.
posted tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow.
If we got it posted tomorrow and we did 20 days, that puts us at the first of March. And then the process could have, we could have hired by April 1.
That's
We
what I'm
could
shooting.
post this tomorrow if we can all agree on this and
Job description.
get the
Right.
job description approved tonight. Y'all can post, central office can post this tomorrow,
Yes.
correct?
They post it.
They
We
post.
posted.
Oh, I'm
We
sorry.
po-
Y'all can post it.
In
SSA,
order
class,
to meet a
AAS.
1 April hire, these applications need to be in by, what, 15th of March? What time?
If you posted this tomorrow, what would you say the timeline would be?
so what, we'll tell them, a little before the end of the month, right? If tomorrow is the 6th, no,
Seventh.
today's 7th. Yeah, I would say definitely the end of the month, would be the cutoff. Depends on what day that is, if it falls into the weekend, whatever that Monday, would be.
Is enough, yeah.
Okay, Friday.
now,
I would probably go with the Monday after that, so March
which,
3rd, yeah, I would
which
say
job
March.
posting platforms will this
Oh,
be listed on?
School Superintendents of Alabama, Council Leaders Alabama School Class, School Board Association, AASB, and then AASBO. And also is a discussion about looking at somewhere where private sector, you know, because they're not familiar with all our educational alphabet organizations. So looking at something for private sector to be able to take a look at. So thinking of Indeed, just, you know, putting it out there.
Would you put it on the state application site too, the Hire True?
Well, we don't have a we don't have a account, but we can, if you want to have your team posted, that's fine.
And that's what I'd like to ask the board, is if we posted it on the Madison County one and said, see this, or, you know, and linked it to where they could
Yeah,
go to
like
that.
they could
That
do
way
that.
at least it's posted from, you know,
All
our
aspects.
Board of Education posted. And then
Okay.
that gets it out to the people that typically hit that too.
Okay. All
We
right.
want to post
Okay.
it as many places as possible to
That's
get the word out.
That's right.
So y'all, central office would post it and just put a link to that.
Right, we'll get whatever information he wants it to go to, you know, with the, you know, however you want us to link it to that, to say, contact, this CSFO is open for Madison County Schools. See, you know,
Oh,
and they
gotcha.
can link it right to wherever you want them to go.
Probably we can embed a link, right? We'll see. We can check that out. Like just put the vacancy and then put the little so they can click on the link for the application. Okay.
If you are technology savvy, we have a whole department that handles that.
Okay. That's what I was thinking. Right.
So what is the communication between the board and you? Or what's the next step we hear
Oh,
from you?
okay. So if permission to post is tomorrow, then that will happen. Then I'll communicate with you, letting you know, hey, it's posted, and where it's posted, and then I'll keep you, letting you know, okay, I'll keep you apprised, letting you know, when closer to the cutoff, how many we have come in at this point. So I definitely keep you in communication. Now, how it's done so that it doesn't violate Open Meetings Act, I only email one at a time. So it will never be a group email. So each individual board member will get one email. You know that, but yeah, I just wanted to point that out. And that's we'll communicate. And superintendent also be one, and Attorney Thompson just one email.
So
I would like us to start thinking about our meetings, our dates, the interview, how we're gonna timeframe,
Okay.
I probably shouldn't say this, I've been involved in superintendent search, before, and it was a pretty quick process, for the interview process, once we had it here. I think the interview process went well, and that's all I'll say. But, it's all open to the public, and they can see what we're doing.
So do we want to, I know we don't want, we may not be able to etch it in stone, but maybe if we're looking at the calendars, second week of March, or for, to narrow down, or something like that?
If we close it on the 3rd, how much time do y'all need before that starts?
Well, if we close it on the 3rd, we would take that list the next day, narrow it down, like you said, hopefully depending on the response. So if, we narrow it down to top 4, top 5, and then from there, vet them, and then give you the names out of the 5 to determine the top 3.
So if we close it on the 3rd, our next boarders meeting is the 14th of March.
Okay.
Can we tentatively think about having our top 5 by
No.
that date?
Oh, yeah,
Mr. Bird, wait a minute, no, that's, I was just pulling up the schedule.
I apologize.
So we got spring break in there too, so.
7th of March.
Right, so the next board meeting is actually the 7th of, that Friday is Friday the 7th is the next board meeting. So
Wow.
if you close it on the 28th, it'd be the following 7th. If you close it on the 3rd, that would be the Monday, and you'd have a board meeting on the 7th.
Yeah, but this can be separate. I mean, we get paid big bucks to come here. So this needs to be separate from the board meeting. This needs to be a totally different atmosphere.
That's what I'm saying, I'm giving you dates so
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you guys can figure out when you wanna have that. I mean, you can have it at its own date, or,
I think it needs to be its own date.
and how much time do you think you would need, sir, to go through the process of the vetting of the,
Days, just a couple days, that's all.
you wanna schedule it? If you schedule something that first week in March, if it's only gonna take them a couple days, that way, at least you guys would have that behind you moving in, so, cause the board meeting that it would be approved on would be, I guess, does this go through a regular board vote, but it would be its own entity as far as
Yes, that's
how
correct.
does,
So yes, right, so you're saying if the individual, when you determine who that individual is? Yes, it'd be regular board vote.
that's Tuesday the 25th.
That's it, but we could do it or separately earlier than that.
I think you're, by the time you work through the contract and all that stuff, you're looking at a little more time than,
Yeah, 25th makes sense.
first meeting in April,
That works.
I would think would be more reasonable.
Well, I think after we get to that point, if we need to have a separate meeting, I have no problems with that. But as a window, let's think the last week of March, first week of April.
That's the last Tuesday in March is the 25th.
Okay,
the
So
next
in
week.
the job posting, some of this stuff probably doesn't need to be ironed out like tonight, but in the job posting, you're gonna need to put in there, if I'm correct, that it's gonna be a process of, this is when they're probably gonna interview, this is the dates around about. Am I wrong?
well, I mean, we can if you want to let them know, but if not, I mean, once they turn in those applications, then, we'll communicate back with them, quickly and say, hey, we're having interviews such day. You got, and you get the pick, here's the time slots, and you get you get first dibs on this slot, and then by that time, then the third person, they don't get a choice. They get the slot that's open.
So once you start getting applicants in, you're already setting up the next, what you need to do, okay?
You got the vetting and narrowing the list down to present to you to look at.
So some of the stuff we can iron out at a different time. We just
Yes.
need to get it posted.
Yes, that's it. That's the main. Right, we can talk, we can get, we can communicate that while it's out there.
Julius, you may not be able to answer this question, but from your previous experience from previous searches, in comparison to our size of a school district, how many applicants should we expect?
I'll just be honest with you. You're talking about one of the tough, besides the superintendent, well, I say besides the high school principal. No, I'm just playing. But no, seriously, though, this is one of the toughest positions in the district. And just being transparent, the pool isn't deep. You have, but I believe, I see a more attractive group of applicants here because of location, because of reputation, and because of, fiscal vitality. So I would say that I wouldn't put this in the norm. I would say that Madison County would be on a higher end of it. We did Walker, and we had three real viable candidates in Walker County. That was right before the summer. So, we're doing Hoover now, and so, Hoover's a political hotbed, so, everybody's not gonna be willing to jump in that pool.
One other thing to keep in mind is that there's 5 open across the state right now.
That's
And
right.
So the sooner we can get moving, the better off we have as far as getting our candidates up here before they start going to other districts.
I have no further additions or issues with the job posting. I don't know about anybody else.
I think we as a board are good if we could get this added to our agenda tonight to approve this
Do that, sir.
as a line item number, or H, to just approve this
The job description.
job description. so we
So
can
we can
move
get it
forward
posted
with
tomorrow.
getting posted.
So the
Can I
only
ask that you
changes,
stay here? Okay, thank you.
so the only changes.
Yeah.
He
Hey,
would like to
Mr.
clarify.
President, so the only changes to the job description is number 2 and 3.
We
And
changed
that's
them to
changed to
preferred.
preferred.
Yeah. Yep.
This one I recommend job description or not?
You can, if you do, it makes life a little easier for me.
We can do it.
Okay.
Mr. President, I request a 5-minute recess between, work and special session.
Before we finish the special session?
Okay.
Okay.
Was that something that needs to be voted on?
No.
Okay. We're gonna take we're done with the special session right now?
We are, sir.
We're gonna take a 5-minute break real quick, and we'll be right back, and that's when we'll get into the request,
Special session.
well, the special session, and the request address board will be very soon, I promise.
Jones, you got any construction that you can put Mr. Bird on, like in Waukesha, Michigan?
The cuts would be precise.
The math would work, wouldn't it?
The math would work.
It'd be one board per hour, but it'd be
I gotta get Bill to hush first. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Thank y'all for allowing us to take that little break. Mr. Superintendent, we're gonna get started back, sir, so it's ready for you.
I recommend approval of the agenda dated February 6, 2025.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any discussion?
That's with the change.
Yes.
Yes. With H added.
H. Okay. Do I have any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Mr. President and Board, we have a presentation from our MCEA President, Mr. Joseph Bellis.
Greetings, y'all. The Madison County Education Association wanted to recognize back in January School Board Appreciation Month. So we're going to take ourselves back just a moment. Let's just skip over the weather from that month. But Madison County schools are strong. You have a lot of successful educators and administrators, support staff, and truly from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate all the long hours and the hard work that you guys do every day to support the schools. I know it can't be easy. From time to time, a few of us are open-minded and kind of grab you guys at a cusp to share our woes with you guys, and we're just very appreciative that you guys listen to us, whether or not, you know, you're in favor of what we're talking about. I know Brian and I have had multiple discussions, and it's just, it's nice to see people that genuinely are compassionate and care for the staff and students that they administer, that they work for. Madison County Education Association teams up a lot with our support staff union as well. Rachel Neely and I both work diligently to try and communicate with our members, and we just have a token of appreciation for you guys. So if I can approach, I'll just pass these out to you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bellis.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, it is, we have requests to address the board.
We do. I'm going to call your names. It looks like we have 10 students and 2 teachers going to speak tonight. The students will,
2 parents.
oh, and 2 parents, I'm sorry, 2 parents. Per our board policy, you're allotted 3 minutes to speak. One of our board members, Mr. Byrd, requested that we allow 2 teachers to go 10 minutes. So at Mr. Byrd's request, we have 2 teachers that's going to speak 10 minutes on this. If I call your name, just let me know you're here. If I mess it up, I apologize. Nora Patty? Here. Thank you. Leah Patty? Lee? Okay. Cadence Meyer? Here. Avery Candlemore?
You missed the Jessica Meyer.
Jessica Meyer. Joshua DeFore? Okay. Cassandra Sapp? All right. Graham Harp? Krista Pickens? And then Emerson Wright? Okay, then where's my teachers? Beth Barnes? And Miss Barron? Done every letter, just let me go.
You don't have to.
Okay.
You know what we're talking about.
So we'll just go in order. Nora Patty. And our board's attorney will set you a 3-minute timer. We just ask that you respect that, and we appreciate it. She said I got it.
I think we're good.
But
We know
before we get started, I want to thank all the students and the teachers and the parents for coming. This is what it's all about, is y'all sharing with us, and thank y'all for coming.
Appreciate the courage. Just let us know when you're ready, ma'am.
Is this on? Okay.
Yes. You ready? All right, she's gonna start your timer.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Nora Patty, and I am a sophomore at Hazel Green High School. I would like to thank the board for allowing me to speak today regarding the proposition to replace APJ with the classroom classes. Although I know that the board's intentions are to benefit the students of this county, I firmly believe that voting this proposition into practice would be the wrong decision because it will harm the students instead of help us. I speak on behalf of every AP student in Madison County when I implore you to please keep the AB Day schedule that we currently have. The pros of changing our AP classes to single semester are strongly outweighed by the many, many cons that such a proposition would guarantee. Although this is due to a variety of reasons, they are all alike in their negative effect on a student's likelihood of academic success. For example, it will be very difficult for us to learn and succeed under the extreme conditions that a single semester AP class would create. Even on an AB Day schedule, it's difficult to learn all the material because of how much there is. Although classroom instructional hours would remain the same, having the class year-long is essential because it is the only way that we can study a material and pace out the homework in a way that we can remember on the exam. If we have to complete the class in half a year, learning will turn into an ineffective cycle of cramming a ton of material into short-term memory at night, regurgitating it onto the class test the next day, and immediately forgetting it all. We would have to constantly self-study after we completed the class to have a chance of passing the AP exam in May. But how would we self-study for classes we have already completed if we do not have time to learn the material
which many students are in. It would be very difficult to excel in sports or activities if we constantly have to study and do excessive homework for AP classes. Our current AB schedule allows us to participate in both sports and numerous APs and still be proficient in both. This would not be the case under a single semester schedule. The majority of us are in AP classes or extracurriculars, partially because doing them gives us an edge in college and scholarship applications. Because colleges look for students taking higher level courses, it will not reflect well on us if they see us not doing as many of those AP classes or extracurriculars or failing the AP classes that we are in. This could potentially jeopardize our efforts for higher academic aspirations. It is for these reasons that I respectfully ask the board not to do away with the AB day schedule we currently have. My classmates and I have worked so hard to do successful students. I beg you not to vote for a new system that has the potential to change us. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
You had her saying how to agree with.
Can you make that louder?
Good evening. My name is Leah Patty, and I am Nora's mom. So I am here tonight to actually speak against the AB schedule change. But before I dive into what I wrote as my speech, I just wanted to kind of address what was being said before. Mr. Kubik, you implied that at Hazel Green High School, the whole school runs on an AB schedule, and that is incorrect. It only affects, the AB schedule only affects the AP students. Not every student has to be on an AB schedule. So it's a small portion of the school that runs on AB schedule. And it is not always paired with another AP class. Freshmen actually have it paired with honors English, but my understanding is that it is paired with PE as well, and it can be paired with other things if the school sees it fit. So I just wanted to clarify that before I go on. As a parent, one of the biggest concerns that I have about getting rid of the AB schedule is that it will undoubtedly harm the AP program in our school. Not only will it negatively impact the success rate, but it will likely reduce the number of students who sign up for these classes. I know that if the proposed change goes through, my daughter will probably not take will not take AP classes. She will instead sign up for dual enrollment classes in her junior year. The expectation or the plan to fit in study sessions in the second semester for the AP students to keep their knowledge fresh is unrealistic, in my opinion. Essentially, you're asking teenagers who are juggling other courses, extracurricular activities, and oftentimes part-time jobs to spend 5 months finding time to review 4 coursework so that they can successfully pass the AP exam in May. Such an approach, in my opinion, is inefficient and likely to fail. Looking at AP exam statistics, we can quickly see that close to half of the students in our school district and across the state already fail this exam, meaning, of course, that they don't have a qualifying grade, so they get a 1 or a 2. Alabama statistics also show that among those students who take the AP exam successfully, 25% of them score a 3, meaning that they barely make the qualifying grade. The question I have is this. In our school district, well, particularly at Hazel Green High School, will these students who barely make a 3, the new system, will it push them in the direction of failing, or will it help them to succeed in getting a qualifying grade? I would like to ask the board to carefully weigh this before moving to change. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Good evening, our esteemed board members. My name is Cadence Nicole Meyer. I'm a sophomore at Hazel Green High School, soon to be a junior, aka my time is running short on how to decide on what I do with my future. I'm currently speaking to you about the AP scheduling conflict. As a student with disadvantages already, coming from a private school with no idea what to expect from my experience, I have to push myself harder to excel to levels of excellence for college, to compete with students from other states for college enrollment. I have big dreams for myself, which I know does not always come true. I've learned that for a very long time, but this impossibility makes me want to achieve my goals even more so. My belief has always been that the school in which a child is enrolled should help them excel to their full and best ability. The school systems in charge of these schools should be pushing for this goal as well. Removing the AB Day schedule is not only an obstacle in my path to a future doctorate, but the rest of my life. I feel behind as is, even if this is in none of my control. No, this is your vote, your decision, but students, parents, teachers, and faculty won't back your decision or your vote. Thank you.
Good evening. I decided to kind of not prepare a speech because I wanted to listen to everybody prior to. And one of the things that I noticed about the conversation earlier was there is a lot of misconstrued opinions about what the AP provides for our students. AP coursework provides not only an opportunity to get college credit, it also provides our students with the opportunity to learn how to study, how to handle college coursework, how to test their limits. I watched my daughter last year work her butt off all year long for AP World History, which is one of the hardest AP classes that there are. And at the end of the year, due to the help of her teachers and her fellow students, she made a 5 as a freshman, which is astonishing. And it made me unbelievably proud. Now, I graduated from Sparkman High School. I begged my parents when I was in high school to lie on our school paperwork so I could go to Bob Jones because the quality of education sucked. And my parents told me, no, we're not going to do that. It's up to you to get the most out of your education. That is what I consistently tell my child. But it angers me greatly when I see people not care about education. This county is known for worrying about sports more than they are about the education of our students. And I understand that AP class takers are a very small percentage, but is it not our goal to encourage our students to push themselves in every aspect of life? So I implore you tonight to listen to these students, listen to these teachers. They know. What y'all don't know is what it actually takes. They know what they are facing in trying to get into college, in trying to get scholarships, in trying to compete with school districts that offer 30+ AP classes, like Madison City Schools. Done? Okay, thank you.
Good evening. I want to thank the superintendent and board for allowing me to speak at tonight's meeting. I appreciate that you are allowing students to voice their opinions on matters that are important to them. My name is Avery Senimore, and I'm a senior at Sparkman High School. I've been heavily involved with the AP program, having taken 11 AP classes while also being in the band and on the soccer team at Sparkman. I'm here tonight to speak about the proposed mandate that all schools within the county offer only semester-long AP classes. I strongly oppose this change because of the harm that the students and the community will face. If the school board mandates that AP classes must only be a semester long, students in each semester will face challenges. When taking a fall class, students will have to wait over 4 months to take the AP exam. Studies show that in just 2 months, which is the length of an average summer break, students lose about 30% of their knowledge, which has been leading schools to shorten summer vacation. With this loss of knowledge, students who would otherwise pass an exam with a 3 or 4 may easily be knocked down to a 2 or a 1. For AP courses taught in the spring, there is a loss of almost 3 weeks of instructional time because the AP exams are given in early May, nearly a month before the course is over. In both semesters, students will have to learn a year's worth of material in a single semester. The students will be exposed to the material for a shorter period, resulting in less processing time. These faster-paced classes will hurt the lowest performing students the most. There will not be time for them to struggle and come out the other side successfully. According to U.S. News and World Report, which uses AP exams for 40% of its ranking, the pass rates for schools within Madison County that currently operate on a year-long AP schedule are nearly 20 points higher on average than those who operate on a semester schedule. There are several benefits of a year-long class schedule for all classes. Under a year-long structure, students can avoid large gaps in math. With semester classes, students will either have to take 2 math classes a year or have a gap before their next math class. When classes are semester-long, schools do not even offer enough classes to avoid gaps. Additionally, making all classes year-long could easily resolve scheduling issues schools face when they offer both semester and year-long classes. With one of my classmates, Josh DeFore, I have created a petition in favor of the year-long AP class schedule. In this petition, we outline the same information I have presented to you tonight. We collected over 360 student signatures supporting this document. We hope the large number of students in agreement with this request leaves an impression on you tonight. I have heard an argument that the school should be consistent in the structure of their AP classes throughout the county. I believe our school system should be unified, but not at the expense of the education and success of students. Unifying the schools under a system that creates more challenges and obstacles for students and teachers will be detrimental to all schools involved. That is why we propose that the Madison County Board of Education adopt a year-long AP policy for all schools within the county. We believe schools will benefit from this change and will likely see their scores and AP class enrollment increase. We have attempted to persuade the Sparkman administration to see our views regarding the harmful changes they are planning to implement. They have chosen to move forward with registration for next year, including only semester-long AP classes, without waiting for the result of the vote that is happening tonight. Our only hope is that the board chooses to mandate year-long AP classes across the county in order to save Sparkman students from these harmful changes. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. First, I wanted to thank the board and everybody here for speaking tonight. I appreciate your graciousness in listening to me and also my partner, Avery, as we are speaking about something very important to us. We've come tonight to speak in support of year-long AP classes. Before I do that, I wanted to explain my investment in seeing the change prevented. I've taken 12 AP classes total. I've been awarded the AP Scholar with Distinction Award. I've held jobs, participated in sports, led community service organizations, and more in my school. My ability to do all these would have been greatly diminished if the AP classes were offered as semester long. The year-long schedule empowered me to develop a well-rounded resume, one more desirable for college admissions. Although I am a senior and will be attending the Naval Academy in the fall, this issue is critically important to me. Semester-long AP classes will not give future students the proper foundation to achieve success, and the threat of diminished opportunity for my peers has motivated me to speak. We believe that the semester-long schedule creates issues outside the classroom, as extracurriculars and AP homework compete for each student's time. Rising college expectations and difficulty in attaining scholarships have driven students to seek as much extracurricular involvement as possible. I felt those same pressures. However, the year-long schedule afforded me 2 days to do homework and to study any topic that I had, essentially doubling my time as opposed to a semester-long course. Although some teachers may argue that, or some people may argue that teachers can extend due dates to compensate for this change, I believe they will be far less likely to do so when faced with cramming an entire AP course into 18 school weeks. The AP courses will be forced to a rapid and unforgiving pace to expose the students to as much of the curriculum as possible. There will not be time for students to struggle and come out the other side successfully. This leads me to our greatest apprehension for this change: student success and involvement. We want students to be well-rounded. We want to present them with multiple varied opportunities so that they may be better prepared for college or the workforce. For Sparkman, our AP program is integral to the pride of our school. Similarly, the athletics, the JROTC, the band, the foreign language clubs, and more all represent Sparkman's claim, diversity our strength. And I know that the other high schools in Madison County strive for a similar wide breadth of opportunities. By making this change, students will be forced into an ultimatum, choosing AP classes, in other words, academic rigor and success, or extracurriculars like sports they've played since elementary school. By making this change, we are stopping them and from becoming the most well-rounded, prepared young adults that they can be. Thank you again for your time and for the opportunity to speak tonight. I hope that the board places the benefit of the student as the foremost priority. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Cassandra Sapp. I'm a sophomore at Hazel Green High School. I do NJROTC, track, cross country, and I am joining the Army National Guard this fall. I am here before you today to present a petition that we got our students at Hazel Green High School to sign in favor of keeping year-long classes. We have 326 signatures in total. We, the students of Hazel Green High School, are speaking to you today on behalf of our school and on behalf of all of the AP students in Madison County. We recently received news that you've decided to replace the A-Day, B-Day schedule for our AP classes and implement single semester classes instead. With all due respect, we would like to express our strong opposition towards this new policy. We ask that you please reconsider your decision and keep the A-Day, B-Day system that we currently have. If you choose to go through with this new system, we will be at a major disadvantage because we will be taking a national AP exam 5 months after we complete the course material. We also believe it will be very difficult to cover all of the material in half of a year, while at the same time preparing for the AP exams for the classes that we completed in that fall semester. This will unquestionably lead to student failure, not just in class, but on the exam itself. We believe that your new system will negatively impact our GPA and AP exam scores, which could potentially jeopardize our chances into getting a scholarship or getting into more elite colleges. We have discussed this matter with our teachers and with our peers and believe strongly that this new system will fail us and thus should not be put in place. Therefore, we ask that you please allow us to keep our A-Day, B-Day schedule so that we, the students, may preserve our high academic aspirations. Thank you. And if I may approach the board, I do have a copy of all 326 signatures for all of you.
Good afternoon, board. Thank you for letting me speak on the topic today. My name is Graham Harp. I'm a junior at Buckhorn High School. I'm a host of state qualifier. I participated in basketball, football. I'm an ambassador at the school. I'm involved in the Student Council of the school, and then the Science National Honor Society and Math National Honor Society. I've taken 2 APs in the past, one my freshman year and one my sophomore. I'm currently taking 4 AP classes, and I personally believe that the A-Day, B-Day schedule we use could not be set up better for student success, not only during the course, but on the AP exam at the end of the year. I see no reason for the change to semester-long AP classes. Personally, I already have my schedule planned out next year with the 4 AP classes I want to take. With the semester-long classes, 4 APs is nearly impossible. Not only will the classes have to line up with the teacher schedule, which first and fourth block core AP classes are nearly impossible to have, it will have to line up with the student schedule, and most of us have extracurricular activities fourth block. To continue, I would not take an AP class first semester when the exam is in May. This would basically be me learning an AP course for nothing as the exam is still 5 months away. And then when the exam comes, I will have to relearn the whole course, which will take weeks, and do this alongside preparing for other finals for regular classes and other AP exams.
The switch to semester-long AP courses will lead me to not be able to be challenged at the level I want to take the first semester, and I know a lot of students feel the same way. The change will lead to a decline in students taking AP classes. The scores the students that do take the AP classes will end up getting on the exam, and the potential the students are able to reach in the classroom. I do not understand the need for the change, as Buckhorn, in my opinion, has one of the best AP scores in communities, not only in the state, and this change is disrespectful to not only those who have a voice in the community, but the voice of the students in the community as well. Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you for allowing me to speak before you all. My name is Krista Pickens, and I'm a junior at Hazel Green High School. I'm also the upcoming student body president for next year's school year, and by holding that title, I felt it necessary to convey the thoughts of the strong majority of students that attend Hazel Green. My peers and I are extremely against the proposed schedule change to do away with the AB day block schedule. Changing the schedule to another type of format, be it the regular block schedule or a 7-period day, would only present difficulties to the students. By taking away the AB feature of our current block schedule, it would only present issues to those that it does affect. I fail to see any positive consequence to come from the said shift. The only students that are on the AB schedule at Hazel Green are the students taking the advanced placement or AP classes, such as myself. Students taking an AP class have an exam that is offered to them on a set national date in May, and should the student get a qualifying score on that exam, they are rewarded a college credit for that course. That would mean students taking AP classes in the fall semester on a standard block schedule would have to wait the entirety of the spring semester after the class has ended to take their college credit-bearing exam. Students will undoubtedly forget the minute details of that fall course, details of which will be tested on the exam presented in May, leading to a higher fail rate of that AP exam. Teachers have worked hard to construct a year-long curriculum that provides students with the materials to perform well on these exams, and I fail to comprehend the slightest thought of why one would want to change the system that is so clearly beneficial. Could you imagine being a student in a sport, or band, or student council, or ROTC, or choir, or all of the above, while also attempting to manage up to 5 college-level classes every single day? These rigorous courses also come with a surplus of homework that on a 7-period schedule, due to the limited time in class, would accumulate for students to do each night. This system forces many students to choose how they would wish to spend their time, between extracurriculars or challenging courses, eliminating the opportunity for the overall well-rounded student. In closing, I would like to call out how these proposed schedule changes do nothing but penalize those of us who are trying to get as far ahead as we can. Those of us who are interested in a higher education. Those of us who are challenging ourselves while also trying to manage an abundance of extracurricular responsibilities. While I do respect that the board is genuinely motivated to do what's best for the students in Madison County, I respectfully maintain that your stakeholders have made it clear that what they feel is best. Given their experiences in the classroom, it is only by listening to those who are living in the reality of these circumstances every day, working towards solutions that are advantageous for all students, that we can achieve real progress towards reaching our greatest potential. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you so much for your time and this opportunity. My name is Emerson Wright. I'm a junior at Hazel Green High School. I'm currently in 3 AP classes. I'm a member of the Trojan Marching Band, Symphonic Band, National Honor Society, and 3 other clubs. This is a lot to manage. However, I have found a way to make all of this work for me. This relies on the system of AB schedules that Hazel Green offers. HG's AP system works phenomenally. It's a great mix of both the 4-block schedule and an all-year-long AB schedule. By having this mixture, it allows me to be a part of single 1-semester classes, such as marching band that only happens in the fall. Similarly, it allows me to be a part of all-year-long AP classes. Having it all year long gives me time to comprehend the material, another day to complete homework, and provides me time leading up to the exam for studying. By taking away the AP schedule, my AP classes will likely become 1-semester classes that I'll either take in the fall or spring. Having an AP class in the fall will be troublesome, as I will likely no longer have the best comprehension of the material by the exam in spring. Likewise, having all of our AP classes in the spring would put incredible amounts of stress on myself and fellow classmates. Many students, including myself, would have 3 or 4 AP classes worth of homework to complete after school each day, while also having other extracurriculars. Managing all of this will be extremely difficult. Changing to an all year long 7-block schedule will have the same effect, as we will have the same amount of AP classes on top of our other extracurriculars after school every day. Changing to a 7-block schedule will also ruin marching band and concert/symphonic band. Additionally, for my family and many others, dual enrollment classes are not an option as they cost much more than AP classes, and we simply cannot afford this. Please, please, please take this into consideration before uprooting the excellent system we have at Hazel Green High School and many other similar schools in Madison County. Thank you for your time, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your days.
Before we start with two teachers, I want to say I do appreciate the students coming out. You have very strong voices. Your voices are heard. So we are listening. I'm speaking for me. I'm sure I'm speaking for all the board members, superintendent, everybody up here. Y'all have made a very good case, but I do appreciate y'all stepping up and coming out, and your voice have been heard. So I do appreciate y'all.
I was just thinking about how bright the future is.
Right.
Just by watching y'all did an excellent job.
I mean, to get a petition, y'all, I'm proud of y'all. So congratulations. And let me speak to the seniors. To come and advocate for something that does not even affect you next year speaks volumes, and y'all got some good raising. So, but I'll continue on. I'm sorry I had to break in there for that, but Ms. Barnes?
Oh, y'all don't have to forgive me here. All right, so I wanted to start by saying to my fellow educators, administrators, students, concerned parents, and our esteemed board members, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. It really is a testament to what I truly believe is your genuine desire to do what's best for our students. And whether or not you're a parent, a teacher, a student, there is nothing easy about what happens in AP, but I can assure you that everything we do and undertake is rewarding. And when confronted with a change that may effectively end the AP program as we know it in the county, I felt moved to speak. First, I'd like to begin by saying I learned that you can say and present data in a way that makes it say anything you want, and I didn't have to take AP stats to learn that. I find many things problematic with the way information was presented, everything from the claim that AP drives the schedule, which is probably as outrageous as suggesting because a student can't find a history class 4th period that it must be athletics, to the claims that when offering up emails and testimony from Career Tech, where it is seemingly pitted against AP, that statements that students are college ready but not career ready, I find inflammatory and pits one academic area against another. That would be as inflammatory as someone asking what's the real numbers in regards to students who are, quote, suffering or inconvenienced under the current AB schedule compared to the number of AP kids we are seemingly prepared to sacrifice to ameliorate what happens to be some complaints. We know this change will not eliminate or lessen parent complaints, but it does send a message about who's seemingly less important. See, inflammatory, right? When we confront all of this data and it's focused simply on qualifying scores, and that's the only number or measure for success, you are reducing students to a number, which I feel is highly egregious for an academic institution tasked with educating the whole child. So what I will leave you with tonight is a focus on what I find most important. And this is, I stand before you not only as an educator, a teacher who has guided countless AP students through the rigors of advanced coursework, but also as a parent of an AP student who faces these challenges daily. I was here 16 years ago when the county brought AP in, and I was all in. And several of you here tonight, Mr. Evans, can attest to that. And we worked together then and even now to do and build a program that benefits all students. I have witnessed firsthand the unique benefits and opportunities provided by a year-long alternating block schedule, and I am deeply concerned by the proposal to shift to a standard semester-long 4x4 block. First, AP courses demand time to explore complex concepts, time to ask thoughtful questions, time to build the deep understanding necessary to perform well on the AP exams in May. A year-long alternating block schedule provides this time. It allows students to engage with material at a sustainable pace, reinforcing their learning throughout the entire school year. Research supports this. The Education Commission of the states in 2018 found that students in year-long AP courses consistently outperform their peers in semester-long formats on AP exams. The extended schedule allows for better retention of material and more opportunities for teachers to provide meaningful feedback and remediation when needed. In contrast, a semester-long 4x4 schedule compresses AP coursework into a matter of months, forcing students to sprint through material that could be savored and understood deeply. This rush undermines their preparation for the comprehensive AP exams, which cover an entire year's worth of content. And I believe our data from county schools will support this finding. Furthermore, the ability to build strong student-teacher relationships over the course of a full year cannot be overstated. In my 25 years of teaching, I have witnessed how the continuity provided by a year-long schedule fosters a classroom environment where students feel more comfortable seeking help and engaging in discussions. Learning becomes a journey, not just a race to the finish line. Also, as a teacher and a parent, I know how much stress our students are under. The demands of AP courses are already significant, and a 4x4 schedule with its accelerated pace and constant deadlines would only exacerbate this stress. The Journal of Educational Psychology in 2020 found that students in a year-long alternating schedule reported lower levels of academic stress and anxiety compared to those in semester block systems. The ability to attend class every other day gives students breathing room, time to absorb information, complete assignments thoughtfully, and manage their overall workload. I've seen this balance benefit my own child, who, thanks to the alternating schedule, has been able to pursue extracurricular interests, maintain friendships, and manage her mental health while excelling academically. This balance is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. Our students are more than their test scores. They are young people navigating a complex and demanding world. Their mental health must be a priority. Moreover, studies from the American Psychological Association in 2021 indicated that students who have a balanced schedule with adequate time for extracurricular activities and rest demonstrate better focus and success in AP exams, not only for AP exams, but for life beyond high school. That's my definition of career ready. Also, the benefits of a year-long schedule extend to all students, but they are particularly critical for those from economically disadvantaged backgrounds and racially diverse communities. These students often face additional challenges such as part-time jobs or family responsibilities, which makes the relentless pace of a 4x4 schedule even more daunting. The Brookings Institute in 2019 highlighted that schools with year-long AP courses see greater participation and success rates among economically disadvantaged and racially diverse students. By maintaining a schedule that allows for sustained engagement and support, we can close achievement gaps and foster a more inclusive learning environment. Let us also consider the importance of consistent access to educational resources. A year-long schedule provides students with steady access to their teachers who can guide them through difficult concepts and offer personalized support. This continuity is especially valuable for students who may not have access to outside resources from school. While it is understandable that some may see dual enrollment as a way to fill the gap if we move to a 4x4 schedule, as both a teacher and a parent, I know this is not a viable solution. Dual enrollment courses often come with higher cost, creating financial barriers for many families. And moreover, these courses are frequently offered online, depriving students of the face-to-face interactions with the stellar personnel Madison County puts in those schools every day. As a teacher, I care deeply about every student who walks through my classroom door, and as a parent, I lie awake at night worrying about the pressures my own child faces, and I know I'm not alone. We have a responsibility to make decisions that prioritize our students' success and well-being. The year-long alternating block schedule is one of those decisions, and it offers our students the time they need to learn, grow, and thrive. It fosters academic excellence, protects mental health, and promotes equity. It is a system that works, and we are fighting to keep it. As stated earlier tonight, every school is unique, and a one-size-fits-all policy that clearly hurts a large number of our students is simply not a smart move for an academic body to make. A dear friend of mine often tells me that when faced with difficult questions, those in charge should know the answers are always in the building. I submit to you now that you have heard the answer resoundingly and clearly. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, Mr. Kubik, board members, Attorney Thompson. My name is Lauren Lee Barron, and I teach math at Buckhorn High School. This year, I am a new AP teacher, teaching statistics for the first time. In light of the recent proposal to alter the high school academic guide by eliminating the sentence, each school may exercise some flexibility to offer some year-long courses within the block schedule, a survey was sent out to our current AP students across Madison County schools. The purpose of this survey was to collect data from our students and hear from them about how this change would affect a few different aspects of their educational careers. We would like to share some key points from the survey that we believe are pretty telling. You should have a printout of the handout in front of you if you so choose to take notes about what I present. First, we would like to point out who took the survey. We had 385 students across Madison County schools that are currently in AP classes complete this survey a few weeks ago. Students from all grade levels, and 4 of the 5 high schools, we did not get responses from New Hope, are accounted for in these diagrams here. The school breakdown there, if you see the blue is Buckhorn, we had the most percentage because the survey started at Buckhorn. We created it there and then sent it out. So that's why the Buckhorn piece has more percentage. But we were able to get 100 and over 100 students from Hazel Green and Sparkman to participate in this survey. You'll also see on the far right that the current number of AP classes, the blue, the red, and the orange there are 1, 2, and 3. Respectively, AP courses that are currently being taken, which comprises the most percentage of our AP students. The proposal to go to a semester-long schedule, it was an overwhelming 56%, more than half, said that they would take 0 AP classes if they were forced on a semester schedule. That's from this survey, that's 214 of these 385 that would no longer take an AP class. 214 students that would no longer be exposed to the rigor of the college-level coursework that is accessible through these courses. Regardless of if the students make qualifying scores on their exam, which of course is wonderful if they do, that would diminish the exposure of that rigor to those that may only see it there prior to college or some post-secondary education. Something that was brought up was that the alternating block schedule creates less opportunities for students to take different electives or even courses at the tech school. Those were questions that were asked of these students, and as you can see, the 73% of the students said that they did not feel that they had, they were limited to take elective options, and 71% said they did not feel that they were limited to take options at tech because of the AB schedule. Another piece of information that we believe to be of importance is how many of these students are involved in extracurriculars outside of the classroom. About 81% of the surveyed students participate in some sort of after-school or outside-of-school activity. When asked if they thought they would be able to manage their extracurriculars and the course load of AP classes on a semester schedule, you can see that about 65% of them said that they do not feel like they would have enough time to do both. And given that the 56% on the previous slide said that they would take 0 AP classes if on a semester schedule, we know which one they would be dropping. It was stated that one of the reasons for the proposed change was for our transfer students, so that was also included in our survey. We know it's a small population, but we still wanted to address it. And of those students that had transferred to another school, that 99% of them said that there was no issue in transferring. They were not forced to not be able to take their AP classes or have issues there. Of the ones that did transfer in the next question, they were asked if the move affected their performance on the AP exam, and only 2 individuals stated yes. The rest said no. Here's an exact quote from a Madison County student who elaborated on how they believe that the year-long AB schedule at Buckhorn had a significant impact on their success on the AP World History exam when they transferred from the semester course that they were in at James Clemens. It says that they went to James Clemens in Madison City and took a semester-long course of AP World. Lots of skills were lacked, didn't know how to write or any formats about the test. Context was rushed, and they couldn't retain anything, and they felt like they were going to fail. But they transferred to Buckhorn and took it as an AB day, and they had time for gaining vocabulary and understand writing formations. They were not stressed with all that was thrown at them, which helped them retain more, and they truly believe if they would have done AP World for a semester, they would have failed. The direct quote from the survey that we sent out. The final piece of student data that we would like to share with you is that 82% of these students that completed the survey said that they believe their overall mental health would be negatively impacted by being required to complete the rigorous expectations of AP coursework on a semester schedule. There are a few other data points that we would like to address. It seems like with this transition, the push is going away from AP and more towards dual enrollment. And we believe both can coexist. As a product of Madison County Schools, I took 2 AP classes in high school, and I also took a dual enrollment class in high school as well. So I know that there is place for both. You'll see in this graphic here, in an education report from the Office for Education Policy at the University of Arkansas in 2020, they reported that the mean composite scores for students who were in AP classes, this is on the ACT, by the way, in 2016 through 2018 were higher than their counterparts in non-AP courses. Since we as schools are graded on our academic achievement, we felt that it was necessary to show some data that presented that AP takers do better on the ACT on their main composite score than their counterparts that do not take AP. Also, in an article from Western Kentucky University, published a summary of research that was posted on the College Board website. That has since been removed, but the content is worth noting in our situation based on our belief of focus shifting away from AP. It states that students who took AP courses and scored a 3 or higher excelled in many key markers involved in post-secondary education, but it specifically said students who enrolled in dual credit through a 2-year college were the, quote, weakest performing group. Both of those are linked there. I emailed these slides to you last night, so you have access to those if you care to look at them. Speaking of the College Board, A+ College Ready is a program of A+ Education Partnership, and they offer support and training aligned with course of study standards and the College Board AP requirements. I bring this up because A+ College Ready's AP teacher training, which I attended this year being a new AP teacher and new to the course, they provide teachers with curriculum, keys for notes, practice assignments, quizzes, and tests, and daily lesson plans, but may I tell you that they are mapped out for a year-long course. Of course, of A+ College Ready's 50 program schools, only 5 of those schools operate on a single semester schedule. I will say it has been a little difficult for me, having started my first 4 days of extensive AP training in June, and then 2 more days in November, and the final day was last month in January, which but I only started teaching this course 5 weeks ago. So I am on a semester schedule, and I'm feeling already 5 weeks in the crunch of the material, but also being so far removed from my initial training has been difficult for me. If you are interested in reading what other AP students in Madison County Schools have to say about this matter, there's a link right here on my last slide that has every single student that answered this survey, their opinion on changing the schedule. The last question on the survey was an opinion question. We just asked them to state their opinion on this schedule change, and I copy and pasted every single answer and put them in a Google Doc. So you are free to look at that at your convenience. We truly believe that the year-long schedule will help our students to continue to be successful with these kinds of courses, allowing them access to a high-caliber rigor and also enjoying extracurricular activities without feeling too overwhelmed. Do year-long classes affect the master schedule? Of course they do. But if we're here for the students and these classes help them be and or feel more successful, then it shouldn't matter. We're not here to make our lives easier, and it was stated in a previous board meeting that the schools know what's best for their students. So why should schools not get to decide to offer these year-long classes if it's deemed what's best for their students? Thank you for the opportunity to address our concerns on this matter. I would be happy to answer any questions that may have come to your mind earlier regarding Buckhorn specifically on the data that Mr. Kubik shared with you.
2 questions, Mr. Barron.
Yes, sir.
First one, Buckhorn runs both semesters and ABs?
Yes, sir.
And the second one is your class time is 80 minutes?
80 minutes for the block, and then it's 40 minutes for our scheduled advisory time every day.
And Sparkman 76 minutes, as I recall. Okay, thank you.
Our blocks are 84 minutes, and we have a skinny block, which we currently don't offer AP courses in that skinny block anymore. 84 minutes,
And so how long is your skinny block?
42 minutes.
Ms. Barron, your skinny block is?
It's 40 minutes.
And Sparkman is 45? Okay.
Are there any other questions from the board? Thank you for your time.
Once again, I want to thank the students, parents, teachers that came. Everything was heard, everything was taken in. Does anybody have anything they want to say before they go? But I was going to say that you can stay. The rest of the board meeting will probably take 5-6 minutes. So if y'all stayed this long, if you want to stay the rest of it, you can. But anybody got anything else?
I just want to say thank you. I think young man is going to the Naval Academy, and there's one other listening. Thank you for your service to our country for that.
Yep.
Go Navy, beat Army. One thing I want to mention, and this is brought up by several people, we as an institution, we support both AP and dual enrollment. And it's like Ms. Barron said, there's a good place for each, depending on the student. So this is not an either or that some have kind of insinuated.
Yeah. So we're gonna finish up the board meeting, and like I said, we'll be here. We'll be done in about 5 minutes. So just bear with us a second. Mr. Superintendent, administrative items.
I recommend approval of the December financial statements and payments of bills as submitted.
Motion.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I recommend approval of the warrant resolution as attached.
Motion.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I recommend approval of the contracts for services as submitted.
Motion.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I recommend approval of the personnel items and addendum as submitted.
Motion.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I recommend approval of the assistant principal probationary contract as submitted.
Motion. Second.
I have 2 motions and 2 seconds. Do I have any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I recommend the termination of employee number 1 and 8 at Madison County Elementary effective February 24, 2025.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I recommend approval of the supplemental contracts as submitted.
Motion.
I have a motion and a second. Motion, second. Do I have any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I recommend approval of the job description for the position of CSFO.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any discussion on that item? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I guess the only thing, I know we voted, but the only thing I'd like to see is a statement attached with it. Is it important?
Anybody have anything for the good of the board before I take a motion to adjourn?
Well, I'd like to say something, and I wrote a bunch of notes, but I'm not gonna say them all, okay? For Board Member Appreciation Month, last board meeting, we were at Madison County High, and the students, Miss Bond's classroom at Central gave us some letters. I know y'all have all read them.
I have mine with me.
I sit and read them for a long time. Mr. Brooks, I'd like to point out that, I wrote some of the takeaways from some of the notes. I'm not gonna read them all. We need more snow days. One gave me his YouTube channel. I thought that was pretty cool. He asked us to come by the classroom, particularly Mr. Moon's classroom, geography at 9:20. Thanks for the metal detectors. I mean, the lunch ladies are great. They give us extra food. We might need to check into that.
Hey, this is Central. You leave it alone, okay?
But I wanted to share that as a positive note. You know, our students that, Miss Bond's, I mean, I don't know about if they were the same, I don't know, but it was excellent. They thought this out. Our teachers are doing a great job countywide. That meant more to me. I love my backpack, though, by the way, my Hazel Green backpack. But that meant more to me as a board member than this stuff. And students come tonight, it means more to me. Sorry, parents, y'all did a great job, but I'm sorry. That's what we're here for. So I just kind of wanted to, I thought about this a lot, and I didn't read them all, but they were excellent. So
I did have one that one kid wanted the stop sign pizza that his dad tells him about. So,
yeah,
they don't do that anymore. But,
I just thought it was great.
yep. Anybody have anything else? All right, motion to adjourn? I got a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye, we're adjourned.